How many people did he murder?
You should disavow the Mary Chew. She's terrible. The super, hey, how you doing? Is breakfast sausage the same as what we call sausages? Or is it like sausage meat that's like just a mound of it? The bimbo transition. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I didn't really want to look like that personally, but hey. What people should do is like my stream, and also you can join my Discord if you want. I have linked it in chat. We are going on to talk about someone called SilverDan10. Should straight people be allowed in gay bars? Bit of a change of pace. It's what this person looks like. I used to have a septum piercing myself. I don't anymore. I don't really, I don't know. I don't really miss it. It was a bit annoying. But anyway, this is SilverDan10. Let's see what he is all about.
Hey guys, I'm Dan and I make YouTube videos about gay.
Oh, there's a British man. There we go. British pride. We need more British people on here.
Male issues and discussions. So if you're into things like that, please like and subscribe. So this video is about whether straight people should be allowed in gay bars or not. And
I don't know why this is even a conversation, by the way. The answer is obviously yes, but let's see.
The kind of general attitude towards straight people in gay bars and the discussion around it. I think it's such a nuanced topic, so I think it's a really interesting.
I disagree. I don't think this is very nuanced personally, but again, hey, maybe he's gonna bring up all kinds of things that I didn't think of. Personally, to me, it's a simple issue. Straight people want to go in the gay bar, they should be able to go in the gay bar. I was a straight boy, I used to go in the gay bar. I guess I was gender non-conforming, so I don't know if that kind of swayed things at all, but yeah, I don't know. This shouldn't need like discussing in my opinion, but I don't know what kind of points they're gonna bring, so that's kind of where we're going with this. Oh, we got some Family Guy jokes. Nice.
One to discuss. I love gay bars. Gay bars have been such a massive part of my life, a massive part of my university life. I would always go to gay bars. I love gay bars. I think I love them so much because there's nowhere else in life where you can go that you're not the minority as a queer person. In most rooms, you are the minority.
As a queer person, queer isn't a minority. Like, plenty of queers are straight. Do you mean as a gay person? People need to stop using queer as like a euphemism for other things. Like, yeah, I hate it. They do it on like RuPaul's Drag Race where they use like queer people as like a catch-all term. It makes me really uncomfortable. I hate that phrase so much. And like, if you want to call yourself queer, then call yourself queer, but like leave the rest of us out of it. Like, give us a choice whether we get to be queer or not, because I'm not fucking queer, you know, I'm trans.
And for some gay bars, you can go and you can not be the minority. Some of them, you still are the bloody minority. Even if it's just superficial, even if the...
So I was the minority when I used to go out gay clubbing because I was straight. So there we go. Everyone thought I was gay, so it was fine.
Their own problems with queer spaces and the hierarchies among gay males in queer spaces.
What does this mean? Ethnicity, Asian... Preference for prototype. He didn't explain it.
On problems with queer spaces and the hierarchies among...
I don't understand. It's not really giving me enough to go on. It's a bit PragerU, you know.
Gay males in queer spaces, which I've talked about a little bit and we'll talk about in further videos. It is still nice to
odor block. What is odor block?
Have a space where you're not the minority and you can speak to other people that have had somewhat similar experiences to you growing up as queer people in the world. I love gay bars.
Okay, take a drink every time this person says queer, because it's going to be a lot of times.
So much that I got a job in a gay bar while I was at uni. And there were points where I was like, straight people are ruining this. And they made me think about this topic.
Why would you like... Oh, I hate this kind of thing. Straight people are ruining this. I like how it's just fine to say that kind of shit because it's like straight people and not like gay people. And you don't even know which ones are straight and gay half the time anyway, but sure. I think it sounds more to me like this person's a bit prejudiced, but I don't know. If you're going to say things that sound bigoted, you've got the problem that people might think you're bigoted. And that goes for like... and that goes for like anything. You know, if you're going to say shit that's like... Fuck, what am I trying to say? I can't remember. Yeah, if you're going to say shit like that about straight people are still going to think you're a bit bigoted, even if you don't think that's possible to be bigoted doing, so.
Of whether straight people should be allowed in gay bars.
Zamzaniel.
I would be stood behind the bar, just stood there, just vibing. I'm behind the bar, I'm working, and a straight man would come in and he'd go, "Is this a f***ing gay bar, mate?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like,
I like how a straight man would do this. It's like, is that a normal thing that straight people do? Yeah, you get some weird gay bashers that like, this is some kind of bizarre novelty for them somehow. But like, really? I don't know. The way they're putting it is weird. I don't know.
"I'm not f***ing gay, I'm not f***ing gay, I'm not gay." And I was like, what? Like, why have you walked into a gay bar to tell me that you're not gay? And I just think it's kind of sus. I think it's kind of sus to come up to me and tell me you're not gay. I think I think there might have been something deep down going on within this person, but it happened a couple times while I was on shift, and I'm like,
I'm a straight white guy, aka Satan. Yeah, fair enough.
why do people keep coming in the gay bar to tell me that they're not gay and then still
When you're down bad and getting 0 girls, so you gotta pull up to the gay bars. That's exactly why I was there, to be honest.
out? The best one is when they come and they're like, "I'm not f***ing gay, can I have a Malibu pineapple please?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't understand.
Stereotyping.
Understand. And like some stuff that I just have to hear of like people coming in and being like, "What the f***? I'm in a gay bar." And I'm like, "Why are you announcing this? Why are you saying stuff like this?" So I made a poll.
That is like weird. Like, I don't know. Take the hint. Maybe just go somewhere else if you don't want to be in a gay bar. They made a poll. Oh, this might gross me out a bit.
About this topic on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Silverdan10. If you want to be in the next poll, if I do another poll. But the question was, queer people only queer people allowed to answer. I'm being
queer people only. Oh, I'm not queer, so I wouldn't be able to answer this. Shit.
Exclusionary. Should cis straight people be allowed in gay bars? 31% said yes. 11%.
Jesus. Straight women, yes, but straight men, no. Why?
Said no.
I love how it's okay to like shit on men so much and like straight people and white people. Like, why?
6% said straight women yes, but straight men no. And 52% said
yes, but only with gay friends. How the fuck do you like, how do you police something like that? Like, some of these people, like, this seems like kind of bigoted to me, honestly. I don't know why it's okay to say this about certain kinds of people and not others.
yes, but only with gay friends. So overall, most people don't think that straight people should be outright banned from gay bars. Only 11% think flat out no. But the one that got the most votes was yes, but only with gay friends.
Yeah, that's weird to me as well. Like, I don't know. We're supposed to be all like liberals and like freedom and stuff, but it's not really like that. It's about, you know, what is it? Fucking, I don't want to say supremacy because that's like way too much, but I don't know. It always feels like some kind of weird revenge fantasy, like one too many straight people were mean to you because out of all the straight people in the world, there's fucking loads of them. Some of them are going to be cunts. And then it's like, I'm just going to shit on straight people the rest of my life. That's nice.
Which makes so much sense because if a straight person's there with gay friends, they're probably going there for the right reasons. So if I was
The right reasons? Chairman Meow. Being oppressed is a badge of honor now. People are desperately searching for an intersectional form of oppression to belong to. It's pathetic. Yeah, some people are. I am against intersectionality personally. I think there's some good arguments you can make using it about like certain kinds of conversations, but the way people use it is insane to me. Like, it feels like people are trying to turn everyone else into like maths equations and sort of just work out how privileged they are and then how they should treat them based on that. Like as if it's a replacement for like human empathy or something, which to me is completely fucking insane, especially because you look at someone, you absolutely do not know what's like going on with them. Like I've got a friend who's got like cancer, like benign cancer, like behind his eye. Like he's also white, straight, cis male, you know, but is he like privileged when he's got cancer? I don't have fucking cancer. Am I more privileged than him? Like it really doesn't make any sense. And it's a really silly way to view the world. The other thing I see it used for is like kind of obfuscating conversations. So you'll get people that in a specific conversation about trans people, say, they'll start talking about like race and stuff because they want to link all these things together necessarily. It's like the last person saying transphobia is just sexism and homophobia like repeated. Like, they want to make as many connections as possible so that they can just throw all kinds of things into fucking... throw all things into into the same pot, so you can't talk about just one thing anymore, which you have to be able to, because being trans is not the same as being gay or being black or something. Intersectionality is where there's lost more meaning. Yeah, more or less. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
To talk about reasons against straight people going to gay.
This is why id pol as fuck. Brits used to all be about individualism. Oddly, I think a lot of these people are extremely individualist, but it's kind of hard to explain how. Most tolerant country, blah blah. Now we're cucked. Yeah, I don't know. It's not an easy answer, because we've convinced a lot of people that's fuck, what am I trying to say? We've convinced a lot of people that like supporting this kind of stuff is like it makes you a good person, and it really doesn't. And we've convinced people that having the right beliefs is what makes you a good person, and that's not true either. What makes you a good person is the way you act and the way you treat people and what you do with your life. Like if you walk around everywhere kicking puppies, you're probably not a very good person, you know what I mean?
Gay bars. I can't really think of any reasons for why straight women shouldn't be allowed to go to gay bars. That's why I put it as an option, because I thought some people might agree with me.
Why would you separate men and women? You're just making it look like the people that watch you are like kind of misandrous.
Because I know a lot of straight women use gay bars as a space to be able to go out and not get hit on by guys and just have a fun time, have a dance, have a little boogie woogie to...
Mate, people will still hit on you, trust me.
Kasha live their best lives without an annoying straight man hitting on them. However, I think it's different when straight men go to gay bars, because a lot of straight men do go to gay bars so that they can pick up girls, and then that defeats the whole point.
A lot of them? How do you know? A lot of them?
Of a lot of girls going so that they feel safe and they don't get hit on, and it also defeats the point of it being a space for queer people to connect. It just turns it into a straight club. So I think you're in...
Mate, plenty of queer people are straight. What are you talking about? Because men are all predators. Yeah. It's fine, you can say that because it's men. Like, you know, I can say that I think all men should be gunned down. If I was to say that about trans people, or gay people, or black people, that'd be wrong. But because it's about men, like cis, straight, white men, to be clear, like, yeah, that's fine, you know. Be as bigoted as you want about the right people.
Intentions for going into the club really do matter. I'm sick.
Listen, he's only like suggested like misandry and stuff like that, but it hits me the wrong way. I'm not saying he's like going off at like straight people that excessively, but it's noticeable, and it, you know, surely any straight person watching is going to feel a bit like, fuck, you know, I feel like misrepresented. That northern accent Devon is the place to be. They sound like farmers in Devon. I used to live in Somerset. They all sound like farmers there as well.
I'm tired of seeing creepy old men or creepy men just stood in the corner of gay clubs waiting for a girl to get drunk. So
how do you know? I mean, I guess maybe they've watched them do stuff, but...
that they can take advantage of them. Because they know.
By the way, let's not act like gay creeps don't exist. They fucking do.
They know that these girls are not going to be with a bunch of lads. They know that they're going to be with like a gay friend or other girls, and they know that they can use this space.
How did radical trans activists get so much power in terms of being able to get people fired and such when they're such a small percentage of the population? To be honest, it's not something I know a huge amount about. I know there was a video, I need to watch it again, because there was a name of some trans man who apparently was quite wealthy and funded a whole lot of stuff. But I mean, partly it's playing on people's like desire to be good to people and to help each other. And so we've made it out that supporting this kind of thing makes you a good person, I guess. Me Too movement, maybe that's part of it as well. I'm not really sure. Like, I'm hoping that I'll come across more clarity with time on that.
Space, because there's less competition in the space to scope out vulnerable people, and it is.
I think maybe to an extent. I don't know if we've overcorrected after like some of the homophobia and like racism shit from like years gone by, you know, because like stuff like the AIDS epidemic and stuff, it was kind of fucked up. I don't know if people have this feeling that they need to overcorrect and way over affirm their support for this community or that community, but there's probably lots of factors to it.
So and I'm like so disgusted by the amount of times I've seen creepy old men waiting in the corners of gay clubs. I mean, both for gay men and both for girls, and it's like, gross. I think straight people's intentions matter when going into the gay bars, and the way that they behave in the gay...
Anyone's fucking intentions matter. Like, anyone's intention could be to go out and sexually assault someone. Why does it have to be straight people? I don't know. Like, all of this is really silly because anyone can go into any bar they choose. And yeah, if you're a homophobic straight guy, yeah, you shouldn't go in a gay bar because you're homophobic. Like, that should be obvious, but you can't stop people going where they want. So I just don't see the point, but hey. Listen, maybe he's still got plenty of time to challenge me. We're like a third of the way through. Like, this is what I want. I want to be actually challenged on this shit instead of just thinking, who fucking cares? You know what I mean?
Boys matters too. I've seen so much fetishization and exoticization of like gay people and drag queens, and I
Oh, is our resident Fajoshi watching glitchy something or other? I don't know. You've been called out. Our resident Fajoshi has been called out by this gay person with long hair.
hate it when straight people go into gay bars and they're like, oh my god, look, it's a drag queen. Oh my god, look,
What's wrong with that? Well, they actually banned rock members for that damn ending. How do you mean, sorry? DMM ending. Main band. Oh, okay, I don't know. They aren't gay, they're queer. I don't call people queer on the basis that I have no idea what the fuck it means when anyone says it.
people are dressed so funny, like, oh, look at how he's dressed, and they like use it as like a zoo to like look at everyone and be like, oh wow, this is so weird, like this is so different.
Fair enough. I used to play RuneScape when I was like 13, and then I played it again for a while when I was about 20, I think, because one of my exes played it and I just ended up playing it with her, I guess. I spent most of the time, where are those like barbarian people that you can fight for like grinding and that? I used to just keep leaving the doors open to like piss people off because the barbarians would escape the dining hall or wherever it was and it'd be harder to find them. So I spent most of my time doing that pretty much.
This is so quirky, this is so exotic, and I just don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate the othering of queer people in their own space.
You're othering other people with this. It's not like I don't understand this mentality. It's like, yeah, they are, and that's wrong. But like the way you've been talking about like straight people, you're not like othering, like just by making this poll, like doesn't that come across a bit inflammatory? Like any of your straight followers are going to see this poll and think, oh shit, a whole bunch of your followers don't think that I should be allowed to go in a gay bar. Like that's a bit fucked, innit? But hey, I don't know. We're so cucked. Like I'm not a straight person and I'm not cis or anything, so this has nothing to do with me, but like people are so fucking cucked over this shit, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get this like normalization of othering people being actually fine when it's certain people.
It is so annoying, and it would happen so many times to me, like when I was in gay bars and when—
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't play as many video games as I used to, like even fairly recently, and that's probably a good thing. I don't really do anything else when I'm playing video games. It's more like a chillax thing for me now, like hang out with Charlie and stuff.
I worked there, and also them like girls that are like, oh my god, you're gay, oh my god, I love gay people, like say something funny, like do something I'm like, I am not.
The thing is, people just don't really, when they're unfamiliar with stuff, sometimes they need a bit of help, like understanding how to talk to people. I get that kind of shit too. Like when I worked in Spoons, yeah, I'd get people that like hated on me and stuff and like laughed in my face because I looked weird. But like you get some people being like, oh my god, you're trans, oh my god, that's so brave, it's like, oh, it's so amazing. And like it is, yeah, it's like, I'd rather just have a normal conversation with someone than hear all that kind of thing. But like people don't just know, you know what I mean? Like some people have never seen a trans person in their lives, and then they go to the pub and they see a trans person just randomly for the first time. Like it's like novel. So I think you know, you gotta, I don't think it's fair to judge people too much for that.
Not a circus animal. I'm not like a monkey with symbols.
Because I mean, you're the one making that connection. They're not saying that that's what they're seeing you as. You're just kind of taking it a certain way, and you do have control over how you take things, you know.
Like beep, beep, beep. I'm not Apu from Aladdin or whatever he's called. Is that what he's called, the monkey from Aladdin? I'm not him. I'm not going to perform for you. I'm just a person, and it's like putting gay people into this box and going to gay bars for like the expectation of being entertained by gay people. And
does anyone sincerely do that? I don't know if that's how it works. I mean, I don't know. I haven't spoken to anyone that's been to a gay bar and been like, oh my god, gay people. But at the same time, like, yeah, I don't know. This guy's taking it way too personally and extracting way too much stuff when it's way easier to be, people are just kind of fucking, not everyone's very intelligent and not everyone's very tactful. They probably don't mean anything bad by it. They just don't really understand. And, you know, we used to be like, you know, we'll educate people and suggest certain things when it comes to interacting with gay people or trans people or whatever. But nowadays it's like, no, my labor is, you know, I'm not giving you free emotional labor. You can send me $10 in my fucking PayPal if you want to learn. Personally, I recommend sending $10 to my PayPal instead of those people's, because I deserve it more than them.
Like being entertained by the extravagance of some queer people, it's just so annoying. And Hindus, oh my god, so annoying.
Wait, it's annoying that people pay attention to you because you're being extravagant, which can often be something people do for attention. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. I'm sorry, I don't know about that.
A bunch of women would be out, straight women, out on a Hindu in a gay bar. So annoying, because they all had that energy, that like fetishization energy of like, haha, let's laugh and let's be entertained by the gay people and like laugh at how like crazy their outfits are and like laugh at the drag queens, haha. Not for me. I didn't like that. And I know that a lot of you out there will get what I'm on about. Them girls that are like, oh my god, I've never had a gay best friend before. Will you be my gay best friend? And like,
and like, notice it's all like film footage. Like, who are you actually talking about? You know, this is just a fucking rant about straight people. If it was about someone else that isn't like white or cis people or something, would this fly? I don't think it would, but it's okay when it's certain kinds of people, which I just disagree with. I think if you want to expect people not to treat you a certain way and address you a certain way, it doesn't really make very much sense to do that to others. Even if you've got some insane ideology in your head about how reverse racism and reverse sexism and all that shit doesn't exist. Like, I don't know. I'll put words to my feelings better in terms of this. Oops, excuse me. I'll put words to my feelings better in terms of this subject, but like, I don't know. It drives me insane sometimes.
can we go shopping? I'm like, oh.
It's like, does this sound like someone who like? Fuck, that's kind of sexist, actually. Hang on.
Them girls that are like, oh my god, I've never had a gay best friend before. Will you be my gay best friend? And like, can we go shopping? I'm like,
isn't that a bit sexist in a way? Isn't that pushing like a stereotype? Just saying.
Like, oh no. And straight people that go to gay bars for that. Ew. Straight men that go to gay.
Who does that though? Like, do people really do that, or are you just saying they do? Like, I don't really understand.
Gay bars for picking up women. Ooh. I've literally heard straight men at gay bars making fun of how the gay people are dressed. And I'm like, what? Like, why are you here? Please leave. Oh my god. And if you're a straight man that's going to a gay bar, do not get offended if a gay man hits on you. It's actually insane that the straight men that will go to gay bars and not be expected to be hit on.
I only got offended once getting hit on by a gay guy, and that's because he put his arm around me and like had his hand like on this side of my hip, and I fucking hate being touched. Especially by people that think that I might want to sleep with them, because I definitely don't want to sleep with them, just in general. But yeah, that was the only time. I usually didn't care. I mean, I got a fair amount of interest. Like, people thought I was gay and stuff, so, you know, it's gonna happen. I mean, yeah, like, going to a gay bar and getting offended when a gay guy hits on you, like, come on. As long as they're not, like... As long as they're, like, respecting boundaries and stuff and taking no for an answer, it's fine.
You hit on, just respectfully tell them you're straight and deny them. If you're not even comfortable in your own sexuality to go to a gay bar and be hit on, like, don't go. It's crazy that I even have to say that. I've had experiences in gay bars where straight people will go in and literally just be homophobic and be there. Like, I was asked if I was a boy or a girl when I was in the toilet, but like in a really disrespectful way by some straight man.
See, all of this kind of stuff is shit, and people shouldn't do this. But is it fair to sort of frame it as being shit straight people do? I just don't know about that.
And then he was like going on about how like us lot get offended.
I feel like he's trying to justify the fact that some of his audience is actually kind of bigoted. You know? Because this seems like bigoted to me. I'm sorry, it does. I think you can be bigoted to anyone that has any immutable characteristics whatsoever, you know? I think he's just trying to justify this, quite honestly.
All the time and stuff, like
the gay guy, excuse me. The gay guy is hitting on you, the normal reaction is to take it as a compliment. Most dudes don't get compliments that often. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, like some of the stuff he's describing, it's not like I agree with it. I think some of that stuff's like whack. And like, yeah, you get gay bashers, you get the odd person that does show up because they want to try and like get a rise out of someone. I've been around people like that myself before, and the way to deal with them is just not to give them an inch. Like, they start talking to you, just answer their questions. Like, you know, they start saying things that they're trying to get a rise out of you. Just pretend they didn't say them and just answer everything in the friendliest way you can. Eventually they'll get bored.
Calling me walk, and I just hadn't even done anything. Like, I was just having a wee. But yeah, you get people like that. I was trying to debate it.
Wait, where did you get that pre-trans footage of nominal Naomi going to the bathroom?
Like, I was just having a wee. But yeah, you get people like that. I was trying to debate him, but then he just went.
Trans people are some of the most bigoted people out there. Yeah, they can be, not all of them. And they espouse their bigotry under the banner of intolerance, which is so ironic it's painful. Yeah, I agree. And I really hate this idea that reverse racism, reverse sexism, straight phobia, whatever the fuck. I hate the idea that those things don't exist, or because of historical reasons, it's okay to do those things. I think that's insane, personally. I think that's just an excuse for bad behavior. And I see lots of it, unfortunately. I see lots of people who, they're just acting the same way as bigots do, but putting an extra step where it's like, yeah, well, some of those people have been mean to me. It's like, I don't understand. I don't know why, if you're that bothered about bigotry, you would then act like bigots when it's someone else you don't like. Like, either you're against bigotry or you're not. Me, personally, I don't really like bigotry. I'm a bit more lenient as to what I consider bigotry. Like, I can take, like, trans jokes and other kinds of jokes. I understand that some things that are a bit wrong and a bit offensive can also be funny. That's just how it is. There's shit that I'd laugh at that is probably very bigoted, but it makes me laugh. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I just don't see the point. I think people should probably spend more time acting the way that they would like to be treated, and I think that would solve a lot of problems. And, you know, we get these people that just want to make it a revenge fantasy and, you know, pander to their fucking weird audience.
Wanted to get physical, so it didn't really work. But the people like that, I'm just like, please don't go to a gay bar if you can't even. And this is why I get why a lot of people voted. The most people voted yes, but only with gay friends, because if you do have gay friends, you probably understand all this stuff and go to a gay bar if physical, so it didn't really work. But the people like that, I was trying to debate him, but then he just wanted to get physical.
He was trying to debate. Sure, you were trying to debate him, sure, okay.
So it didn't really work.
Who was that person? There was some weird allegation against that Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit. And it was this woman, like, talking to Ethan Klein back when he was, like, really embarrassing. Like, doing all this, like, and yeah, we're making out and stuff, but I was still, like, debating him the whole time. It was, like, bizarre. This reminds me of that a little bit. Hi, Serena, I hope you're doing well. I'm watching things. It usually ends well.
But the people like that, I'm just like, please don't go to a gay bar if you can't even.
I mean, the argument really, should they be going to any bars, getting alcohol, acting like a weirdo? Like, you know. Antisocial people are typically antisocial towards more people than just gay people.
And this is why I get why a lot of people voted. The most people.
Yeah, so we're, because certain people in a huge population act like disgusting freaks, that means that it's okay that people think that straight people shouldn't be allowed in certain places, which is very authoritarian, but sure. I don't know. I think we're just we're excusing a very bad attitude when, again, in any other circumstance, this wouldn't fly. Like, someone gets mugged by a black person and then ends up kind of racist as a result. You wouldn't say, well, yeah, it's understandable. You'd be like, well, you know, you got to understand that that's one person in a huge population. But no, but because it's the right kind of bigotry, it's actually encouraged, so it's fine.
Voted yes, but only with gay friends, because if you do have gay friends, you probably understand all this stuff, and you don't have to have a debate with me in the bloody toilet about if I'm a boy or a girl. It did annoy me.
Why would you have a debate on whether you're a boy or a girl? Like, that's your first mistake.
When I was working at the gay bar and it was just full of straight people on some shifts, like just full, like barely any gay people on some shifts. It was very much giving like straight pride energy some shifts. However, on the other side of things, for why straight people should absolutely be allowed in gay bars is because they're keeping them up and running. I genuinely think the gay bar that I worked at, if it wasn't for the amount of straight people that would go, it would literally shut down because we need straight people to buy drinks and
See, I agree with all this. I mean, I guess it's the way he's like done it. But then we're gonna have more yeah, I don't know. I still don't think this is anywhere near as nuanced as he said it is. I'm very pro people should probably just be able to go to places. I think he does go on to like suggest that you don't actually know who's gay or straight, at least. Like some of this shit is like annoying me, but I don't think this is the worst thing I've ever watched, just to be clear, you know?
keep the gay bars open. The shifts where it was just full of straight people, if they weren't there, no one would be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird enough just to talk about the fact that he had shifts that were just full of straight people, because, yeah, you don't really know, unless every single one of them was making out with a member of the opposite sex, which seems a bit unlikely, I gotta say. I don't know. I think there's definitely some prejudice in here. If he wants to disagree with me that I think he's slightly bigoted, then he's welcome to. Maybe he'll debate me on it, I don't know, in the toilet. That'd be fun.
There'd be like 5 gay people there and the bar wouldn't make much money, and then on the weekends when it is busier and does have more gay people, there wouldn't be that space that exists for the weekends, and there wouldn't be that place for gay people.
Wait, what?
There'd be like,
yeah, any of them could be bi, of course. Like, yeah, it's yeah. He's trying to put nuance into something that to me is not very nuanced, because it's, you know, if you're an adult and you can go into a bar, why not just let them go into that bar unless they're banned for some reason? I don't see the point in enforcing any kind of, I mean, how do you enforce like sexuality, like shit? Like, how would you enforce it that only gay people can go into a club? That's crazy.
like 5 gay people there and the bar wouldn't make much money, and then on the weekends when it is busier and does have more gay people, there wouldn't be that space that exists for the weekends, and there wouldn't be that place for gay people to go. So it is.
Wait, what does that even, that doesn't make any sense. Is it because it wouldn't be open? I'm not sure. It's an odd way of putting it, if so.
Good economically to just kind of let anyone in and let anyone spend money there. But also, if you were to not let straight people into gay bars, how would you know? How would you know that they're straight? There's no way to prove whether you...
Yeah, I mean, fuck me. Did we need 15 minutes? We're about 9 minutes in. Like, yeah, that's obvious.
You're gay or straight at the door. Like, you just can't. The only thing you can do is base it off stereotypes.
I'll just base it on vibes. That's what everyone does now. And then certain people who don't give the best first impressions are just fucked for life. We're the tolerant community, by the way.
And the harmful thing about this is I know friends who have been denied entrance to gay bars who literally are gay because they didn't look gay enough or they didn't act gay enough. And I think that's really harmful to be rejected from their own space when in life, in a...
Hey, if you think that's bad, you should learn about like trans online like communities sometime. That's fucking rampant. That shit is going on there. Fuck me.
A lot of spaces, they are the minority and they are on the back foot.
Again, trans communities, because they're full of non-binaries, aka cis women mostly. That accent. Yeah, I don't know. Up north, innit? That kind of thing. I don't know where he's from. I think probably like Yorkshire or like Manchester or something.
To be rejected from your own space is really awful, and like you just can't tell someone at the door that they're not gay. Like, you just can't. So there'd be no way of mandating.
What if I spoke like that for the rest of the stream? How do you feel about that? I'm trying to be kind. I really am. The last stream I was very unhinged, so I'm trying to make up for it so that all the kind people that tell me how transphobic I am in my usual comments will change their minds. Because it totally matters how I come across, you know.
Straight people not being allowed.
So I'm not taking the piss at you or anything.
In gay bars, like, there'd just be no way of doing it. It's just kind of near impossible.
Yeah, so what's the point in any of this, in a way?
And then also, does it create a division if straight people aren't allowed in gay bars? Does it create segregation? And aren't we fighting to be a more integrated society? Isn't that the goal?
I gotta wonder... I'm good at accents. I can do most regional accents and the odd. I can't do like foreign accents, but like Australian and shit, I guess. I'm just kind of. Here's the thing. What was I trying to do? So he's saying denying straight people creates more segregation. I'm just wondering if he's ever kind of. I mean, he doesn't have any straight male friends. I was going to watch this one, end up watching this one, but like this is yikes. You're here for an unhinged Mary. Well, hey, listen, anything can happen. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. I don't know. It's hard to feel much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're consistent on that. But like that kind of take, I'll often hear someone suggest that more segregation isn't good and it's bad when we do it as much as when anyone else does it. But like people do it so much as well and feel like they have to do it because they're like a minority or whatever.
All that everyone gets along and everyone can be in a space with each other and be respectful with each other, and different races and different sexualities and everything can click with each other. If you're just saying you are banned because you...
Listen, my social life would have been even more of a nothing back when I was at uni if they decided not to let me in gay bars. To be fair, they would have let me in because they would have definitely thought I was gay, so it's probably fine, but still, I don't know. You don't know which people's experiences you don't know which people you're like denying experiences to, which might be good for them. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I don't know.
You are straight. Kind of controversial, no? I think there are some straight people as well, or like...
Kind of controversial, like, you have to say it that way. No, that's like wrong. That's like kind of wrong. It's okay to say it. It's okay to come down on one side of the fence, even though some of your audience thinks that no, straight people should never be allowed in gay bars, which is weird. And I don't know, do you know what's interesting? Like, people, I'm not saying this person necessarily, but like these activist types, they're always like obsessed with like who follows other people. And it's like, you know, oh, it seems like right-wing accounts follow you on Twitter. That makes you bad. Well, it's like this guy and his audience, like 11% of them apparently, think that straight people shouldn't have the right to go into gay bars. Like, come on. That's kind of bad too, is it not?
Straight passing people at least who don't know what their sexuality is, they don't know, like they identify as straight, but they just want to go to gay bars to kind of experience that queerness and like explore themselves.
Oh, it's not about experiencing queerness. No one needs to experience queerness. Like, you can put that shit back away. Gayness, you know, lesbians, bis, all the other stuff, yes, absolutely. Queerness, no.
And I think that is really good that that space is open to anyone to explore themselves. And
but to be fair, I just fucking hate the word queer, so
to be a different person at night, to release their inhibitions. And I love gay bars for that. I love that you can just release your...
I remember getting guilt by association getting bigger in 2016. Seems to have quietened down. If it's quietened down, it hasn't quietened down in like trans circles. I don't know if you know Frida Wallace. She does it constantly. It's the only argument she has most of the time. I reacted to a bunch of her conversations right at the start of doing this channel because I just stumbled on her by mistake, and the thing I watched was the most unhinged fucking conversation I've ever seen in my life. And it's all just, well, this person's associated with the fucking LGB alliance. This person's, oh, they've been on GB News before. It's like, so fucking what? You're not doing anything against their arguments, and they're not interested in having arguments because they don't have any arguments. So, you know, like, what's a good pro-trans argument? It'll be bad for their mental health if you are mean to them. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, fuck me, I don't know. Like, people insist on defending this shit, and people insist on acting a certain way that's not working and is alienating more and more people. And this shit's gonna come crashing down. Sooner or later, something is gonna happen, either in women's sports or around detransitioners, that is gonna be too much for, like, large amounts of people, you know? These niche ideas are being tested and played out in the broader world, seem to have been rejected. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what happens typically is that things evolve. Like, opinions and like talking points and shit like that usually evolve in groups, whereas in trans communities, the only evolution really is that we've gone harder and harder and harder on the idea of like trans kids, which is a shame because that, again, that whole thing is like making people not like us very much. And the whole time I was like, I don't really think we should be pushing on this issue, but no one fucking listened to me. So it's like, okay, cool, great.
and really discover who you are. And I think it can be a good thing that anyone can go in that space and do that. Going back to the like creepy straight men in gay bars.
We're going back to creepy straight men having made some actual decent points for the first time in this video. Going back to stereotyping people that aren't like me.
When I worked there were like 1 or 2 guys who were straight guys, or at least they said they were straight guys, and they'd go like every weekend. Like some would go on their own as well, and they'd like make new friends and stuff, but they didn't bother anyone. And I think maybe for some straight guys that do go to gay bars, like very rare exceptional cases, it is a space that you can go that is less heteronormative and
Do you think that, like, very rare cases? What do you mean very rare cases? Do you think there's really not that many straight people out there who are kind of a bit gender non-conforming, don't maybe fit in with other guys or other girls or something? Because that was me. That was what I did. I didn't fit in with other guys because I was a guy who fucking wore makeup and shit. And like, I don't know why we have to be like a very small amount of these people. I don't think it's a small amount. I think there's quite a few people. Like straight women tend to go to like gay bars a whole fucking lot. As chairman, oh, sorry, one sec. Adults won't pay for the backlash, our kids will. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole shitty cult thing is gonna pay big time, and I'm very cool with that because I'm completely distanced from that shit now. I had one foot in when like fucking 2020 or whatever shit, and then I realized it was insane. Chairman Mao said, these ideas are age old. Guilt by association is a big part of our history as the Soviets. Yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, Soviet propaganda probably has an influence on some of these like gay leftist trans types. They're refreshing. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I mean, yeah, I've experienced a lot of it. There was a long time in my life because I had trans friends. I just would keep my opinions to myself, and I'd see more and more stuff that I just couldn't put my name to. That it was like, and like my friends are like coming out with all this like insane shit like all the time. And I just kind of leave it because I'm like, I don't want to fucking argue with people, but it just gets to a certain point, I guess. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. I'm just kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just doing this to vent or something, but yeah. It's kind of, yeah, it sucks not being part of the in-group, but then when the in-group is like delusional, I don't actually want to be part of the in-group because they all lie to each other. And some of them have extremely like bigoted views that are okay because it's straight people they're shitting on. Everyone's intimidated since the institutional capture. People can and did lose their careers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't really have a career or much prospects to speak of, so I'm like not fucking scared of that shit at all. So it's kind of great in a way. These groups will have Marxist underpinnings. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, hey, most trans people are either communist, socialist, anarchist, or a combination of the three, which to me is not a very natural thing to happen. I can see why trans people would lean left because there's a lot of poverty and stuff, but those are not natural positions to just fall into. That shit you get taught, you know?
They didn't bother anyone, and I think maybe for some straight guys that do go to gay bars, like very rare exceptional cases, it is a space that you can go that is less.
I don't know why they're saying very rare exceptional cases. I think this is probably way more common than this person thinks. Because some people are straight, but like gender non-conforming. Straight people are like one of the, if not the most fucking diverse group out there because there's just so many of them. And I can't believe like we're happy to stereotype to this extent that when it comes to people that just kind of have a bit more in common with like gay communities and straight communities for whatever reason, we have to be like, oh, it's a really small amount. Like, he's literally talking about me. I've known lots of straight people that went to gay bars, like even straight guys that hung out with other straight guys in the gay bar. I mean, with the gay people as well, sure, but like, it's not that unusual. I don't know why you'd like downplay it.
Heteronormative.
Like, to me, it suggests that they want to make straight people seem as bad as possible, and that's like very wrong in my opinion.
Less attached to that, especially in Britain. Like, clubbing is so hyper masculine in Britain. It's so like country road.
Clubbing is so hyper masculine
in Britain. It's so like country road, take me home. Country road, take me home.
Is that hyper masculine? What is masculine about any of this?
To the place, rock and roll.
The person's voice sounds like fucking Mickey Mouse. It's not very masculine. There's a woman, there's another woman. Yeah, very hyper masculine.
Coming out of my cage and I'm jealousy.
I don't. What are we talking about? Like, are we just like judging people's preferred music? Like, oh, it's songs white people listen to.
It's just a bit like hyper masculine, and I think.
In what way is that hyper masculine? What the fuck are you talking about?
For them to be able to go to a space that's a bit less like that, especially if they are more feminine or less like laddie. Yeah, that.
See, to me, like, I do know what he's saying in a way. He's put it absolutely fucking terribly. But for me, it was just, I just didn't really know how to be around, like, anyone. So I think maybe going into, like, a gay bar and something, maybe I felt like I'd be, like, judged less. And the fact that I was, like, kind of feminized, you know, I think I just felt like hopefully the people would judge me less because I didn't know how to, like, go up to people. I didn't know how to, like, hit on women and maybe even, like, score occasionally. Like, I just wasn't able to do that. I was too, like, socially anxious. But it's a very reductive way of looking at it. And he's like, worded it awfully. Like, what I just watched, is that hyper masculinity? I really don't think so. Country Roads by John Denver is definitely not. Yeah, of course, yeah. I agree.
That's my point. A lot of straight clubs in the UK are just so laddie. And I think it is nice that straight men who don't.
Are they all of them? Like, we have, like, football is, like, big in our culture, I guess. But even then, like, football fans are, like, another huge, diverse group, so... Same, but I didn't need because girl approached me. Easy wins. Listen, I had some women approach me. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't date anymore, but, like, this is so loud. But, like, yeah, I couldn't, like, approach people. I had a couple of lesbians that, like, wanted to get off with me and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Don't like laddie things, have a space to go to that isn't like that and is a bit.
The only masculine part about partying is potential fights and picking up girls. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I also felt like around other men, I felt that kind of competitiveness, but I felt like I couldn't compare to them, if that makes sense. Like, I was never very comfortable with, like, masculinity in general. I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I have, like, guy friends and girlfriends nowadays, so it's like, I don't know.
More like freeing. I really do understand the concept of we want to keep gay boys a safe space, and then
in the UK, women are pretty based and feminist now. It's not like the US where only men approach. It's still, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my age. Like, I kind of got lucky when I did get with anyone, and usually I wasn't actually getting that lucky. But, like, I don't know, I never liked, like, the gender roles because it felt like it was putting someone like me with immense social anxiety into a really shit position. But I'm a bit older, so maybe that accounts for that. I don't know. They might be a bit different nowadays. I don't hit on people, I don't approach people because I'm in a relationship, so.
Not a safe space with straight people there. I get it, but I just think it's impossible for boys to be safe spaces. You know, people are drunk as hell. People go there to release their inhibitions, go a bit crazy, go a bit wild.
Bars can never be fully safe spaces. Yes, that's true. I agree with that.
And I think men are problematic in general, straight men and gay men. And, you know.
Okay, that's just straight misandry. Like, fucking hell. Women don't do bad things ever, I guess. Nice. I mean, yeah, the crime rate of men is, like, higher and stuff, but, you know, it's interesting that you'll happily talk like that. I wonder what he'd talk about. I wonder what he'd say for, like, you know, the US black crime rate or something, which I fully agree is much more complicated than just black people do more crime, by the way. Before anyone stops right there and writes a soy as fuck comment, which you'd be writing anyway because you stopped, so whatever. 31 out earlier, yeah. Women, when you show, you kind of ignore them. Jeez, I kind of ignored almost everyone, and everyone just ignored me instead. Always let them. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Yeah. I'm a very abnormal person in lots of ways, so I had a lot of shit working against me, I guess. So, like, I haven't had a normal experience, so I guess I can't really generalize my experiences too often. Oh yeah, 6'4". Okay, that explains a bit more. The crime thing is exaggerated. Yeah. I don't know. I just think I really just don't. I'm not comfortable about, like, being happy to shit on, like, men or cis people or white people or something the way these kinds of people do, or, like, straight people. I just don't think it's cool, and I think it's it's gonna push more division. And he seems to have suggested that he understands that segregation is like gonna have that effect potentially, but his own language and his own rhetoric doesn't. Like, why not follow your own like lead? You know what I mean? Like, why not have principles that match the way you behave?
Unsafe things can definitely happen by other gay men to gay men in gay bars as well. I just think it's impossible to create a nightlife that is 100% a safe space. So I think if you do really want a
That is very true.
safe space, gay bars aren't the place to.
If you want a fucking safe space, then don't leave your house. Invite people to your house. I don't know. Anything. Like, fuck. People are obsessed with safe spaces sometimes. Like, the world isn't a safe space, and you're not really entitled to any safe spaces, really. Like, the fact that we build houses and shit like that, and that we were born in this time, not in like caveman time, is like, you know, it's kind of, we're lucky in that respect, but we always want more, I guess.
To be. I wish there was alternatives. I really do wish there were other alternatives for queer people, like an actual safe space, but there's not.
I would personally suggest that women probably don't approach that much more often in the UK than the US. If that's where you are, I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Like, I don't know. We're one of the less like liberal and less feminist like European countries because we want to be like America. So I guess there's that to consider.
Not much. There's like meetup groups and stuff, but there's not many other opportunities to like be in a space where you're not
Also, you should like the stream. I think that would be good if you like the stream.
the minority, where like most people are queer people.
Oh, you're in Devon. Oh, you mentioned something about that earlier. Fair enough.
And it kind of sucks. Maybe you guys in the comments like know other things. I can only think of like LGBT societies at university that like are good for that, but bars are kind of like all we have. Bars and meetup groups to just be around queer people. And it is a shame
Queer people. I hate this word, queer people.
that bars can't be safe spaces, but when alcohol and are around, and the sexual nature of nightclubs and the hookup culture that comes with all nightclubs, straight or gay, it's hard to be a safe space.
Yeah, gay like hookup culture is like insane. Like, gay male relationships and like dating scenes and stuff, there's very much their own problems. It's very nice to cast so many stones at like straight people and do a poll where a bunch of your audience thinks that straight people shouldn't go into gay bars, which to me, I would be like fucking I would be like, shit, is that what people that watch me think? I'm a bit worried about that, but it's fine because it's straight people.
But yeah, it's a really interesting
Oh, Jesse Gender. Yeah, I have a huge problem with like, it's the same, you get people in the UK that are exactly the same, and I know people literally like this, but like these kind of white middle class like trans people who often have like followings, like Jesse Gender, someone like Katie Montgomery, like they're probably not poor, and they've got a following, they're able to have their voice heard about stuff, and they complain about like how oppressed they are. I find that insane. I don't know, it blows my mind. I would never say that I'm oppressed. And I have plenty of problems. I could if I wanted to.
topic. It's just so nuanced. Like, I can't even give like 100% definite answer of what my opinion.
This isn't very nuanced though. This is a really easy answer. Should straight people be allowed in gay bars? Well, yes.
Is if I had to like be a lawmaker, I would let straight people in gay bars, because like I said, you can't prove someone's not gay, and it's just so complicated.
Yeah, something about like people from first world countries like appropriating like oppression. It just makes me feel sick. I really don't like it, and I think it would be extremely irresponsible, and like it would just be really wrong for someone like me to complain about oppression when I'm really just not oppressed. That's just kind of how it is, just kind of how it is, unfortunately.
It's just, there's just so many new.
And the thing is, like the oppression, sorry, I'm pausing so much, I don't care. It's like I showed that that site about the anti-trans bills and stuff. It's all stuff like that. Even when it's British people that don't live in any of these fucking countries, but still like they'll complain about their systems to talk about oppression when they're not from there. Straight women love gay bars so they don't get endlessly creeped on. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of well known. I mean, I used to know tons of straight people. Like, when I went out, like, gay clubbing in Bath, like, when I was at uni, there were loads of straight people that went there. There were, like, there was a whole group of, like, there were mostly straight people, like, straight guys and straight girls, and, like, a few of them were gay, and they went there, and, like, they were fine, you know? They're just people like you and me. More recently, straight men have come out and started going to gay bars. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's always going to be some that are shit. I think the way it's being kind of framed and the way it's kind of being put on straight people specifically, like it does come across inflammatory. And if this was about another group that it's less acceptable to not like, then I think this would have been received very differently, if that makes sense.
Nuances to it. I think the straight people need.
How can they talk about trans out? Sorry, I'm just checking comments quick. Whole society is shunned straight males. Yeah, here's the thing. I know plenty of like normal as fuck, straight or bi or gay, like usually women, and they'll start calling themselves non-binary and therefore trans, and they'll change their name and change their pronouns, and that's literally all they'll do. Because you get like fucking clout in certain circles, like far left, you know, pro-trans, pro-gay kind of, you know, societies. So all you need to do is just pretend you're trans and you can get a whole bunch of clout and attention. And some of these people have like platforms and stuff. It makes me a bit sick. But you can't, I was told that you're supposed to not like fake claim people, even though actually people fake claim each other all the fucking time. How can they talk about being scared of trans violence when they're in the US or UK? Countless protections. Could understand if it was in the Middle East or Eastern Europe. I don't know, I guess when we don't really have many problems in our lives in general, we have to hyper focus on like the smaller ones, because for a lot of people there's just always something, rather than being able to accept the good and the bad, you know what I mean? Mainly South America. Yeah, I mean, South America is terrible for like trans people. There's a lot of like murders of those kinds of people. And again, like white, British, American, whatever, trans people that go around being like, oh, the murder rate, the murder rate, the murder rate. The murder rate is not made up of very many white, American, British, native living people. You know what I mean? That was a terrible way of wording it, but you know what I mean? They're from a rich country, which they still live in, and so fit into because they're one of the natives. They're not the people that have the problem. It's the fucking people that are forced into sex work and shit like that, who are usually like of color, or they're not from this country anyway. They're from like Brazil or whatever. But yeah, we'll still use those talking points because we're ghouls, I guess.
Need to remember that everywhere in the world is a straight bar, and gay people only have certain spaces. There is their gay bar and is their space. So if you are going to...
It's not really anyone's space. It's the fucking business owner's space. But whatever.
Go into that space.
You've accepted language as a form of attack and danger. True, yes. Now, trans people are in danger and at risk of alleged genocide. Yeah, because if they get misgendered, it's the same as being stabbed, or at least it seems that way nowadays. I don't know.
Please be respectful. Please don't get mad if you hit on. Please don't say anything homophobic. Please don't argue with people about your...
Okay, he's just lecturing straight people. I don't care. I agreed with a few things, but I don't like his attitude, and I think there's probably some latent bigotry in there.